Hey, folks. Yeah, what Coach Cole has, as you guys know, is the ability to write on that card right there, the name of the individual that might have passed on, or you want to honor, that might be going through, cancer right now, or whatever. Like I said, a lot of us have been impacted by relatives, people that we know. And that's probably why we're so big on the community service part of it with the bone marrow drive, my daughter, and other things, is because you just never know when it may impact you, like right now and immediately, that kind of thing. So when you're service oriented and the mindset is giving to other people, that's what it should be about. You guys earning a world-class degree, playing competitive football, got to deal with the aspects of what's going on in our country and the world. The whole thing that you guys subscribe to is like what it's all about. And I get a ton of people who are always calling and congratulating and asking about things. Tyson Garrett gets a job over there right next to Paul's Deli because he knows about you guys. Yes, other people that do it as well. So keep that up, man. Keep it up. Make sure it ain't my wife, because normally it's falling to the side. No, it's Jay Collins. Okay. All right. So as we always do, we have a speaker that comes in, and he's one of us. Mr. Manager's going to introduce him, but I've known Donte for a while. When I first got here, he was one of those guys that kind of embraced me, staff, because he's part of this. He's part of this, and so he's one of us. But every Friday, as you guys know, we try to have a different speaker in here that you guys didn't need to connect with him, because they always have information to give you that can help you down the road. That door might not be open now, or it might be closed now, but you never know. You might know somebody that knows somebody that can open the door for you. But you just got to stay in the present, stay in contact with one another. It happens all the time, okay? So I'm going to let Joe introduce Donte, kind of tell you a little bit about him and stuff like that. And then when he introduces him, how we greet and stuff like that. But then let's enjoy the rest of the evening, the meetings, the turnaround time. Coach.
11:30 tomorrow, and then once you guys are done, once Donte's speaking, we'll pass all the stuff over. Again, we're going to post all these on the wall. So if you want to put, like, I'm not saying you have to, but if you want to put like love Bill, or just, whatever you want to put at the bottom, so when they come through they can see, whether it's grandma, mom, whatever it may be, they can see it, they can take a picture in front of it. It's going to be right behind the concession stand, so it'll be right when they walk in. So don't be afraid to obviously put your name or make it more personal than you want it to be, but it'll be right there. You guys will set the bar for it, and then as fans come in, there'll be a table. They'll write their name.
They're going to add to it. So it's going like the mushroom approach. Like you add to it, they're going to know that you guys have done it, and then they're going to add to it. So that whole freaking under the stadium right there, the whole wall, hopefully getting covered up because of what you guys started. Okay, that's all part of this. Okay, so Joe, Mr. Banner will introduce our guest speaker, and then we'll go on from there, folks.
Hey guys, Joe Vanderfield, class of '79. Played wide receiver here, walked on and got a scholarship, fortunately. Today, Donte Lewis is our guest speaker. He's class of 2004. He played defensive end here and was a real standout player. After football, he's built a successful business, but he's also been very supportive in helping the Tribe football program in a lot of different ways, both monetarily. He's also done, if you guys aren't familiar with, we're going to try to get some information out to you so you guys can join. But he has a YouTube called Tribe Postgame, and he's interviewed, I don't know, we were talking something like 20 or 30 former players, and it talks about what they did, what they enjoyed about things, whether they played here, why they were in school here, and also what they're doing now, how they got there, what their keys to success were and are. And it's really a great series. Donte said he hasn't done it recently, but there are some great ones you can go back and look at, and you'll see some very famous players. You walk around and see their names downstairs in the Soldridge atrium lobby. But it really is a telling story for all these guys. Also, Donte's, I think, currently on the board of business analytics for the Mason School of Business.
On
And,
the board of business analytics?
Yep, on the board of business analytics. And he's going to tell us about his journey from graduation until now. And his class is 2004, like I said, defensive end. Donte?
How we doing?
Let's go, fellas. All right, listen up. Guacamole.
Let's make this somewhat interactive. I don't want to sit here and dictate to you guys the whole time. But I do want to share with you guys if you have I don't know, do we do if you have questions or, okay, good. Let's make this somewhat interactive so that we can connect and then move forward. Make sense? I'll tell you a little bit about myself, a little bit about my journey, a little bit about what I want to share with you guys that was important for me. And then we go from there. I love what Coach said about connecting afterwards. I think that's the most important. I'll talk about that a little bit as well. So I'm originally from Bowie, Maryland. I don't know how many Maryland guys we got.
All right, Stu.
Okay, where'd you go to high school, bro? Which one? Bowie. All right, I went to Roosevelt. So I went to Eleanor Roosevelt and graduated in 19. But we never lost the Bowie, by the way. You a Maryland guy? Oh. So we only got one Maryland guy? You Maryland? Where you?
Two more.
Oh, you Baltimore guy. Garstown. Okay, you like, I don't know. Yeah. You went to Bowie High School too? You went to Gonzaga? Okay, so I got some Gonzaga friends. You went to DeMatha? I got some DeMatha friends as well. So I graduated high school in 99, came here in 99. My options were Howard University. I think it was some Ivy Leagues that I didn't want my parents to pay, unfortunately. But I love William Mary for the opportunity to play at a high level. I know you guys have heard this before, right? I love William Mary for the opportunity to play at a high level. It was like 3 hours or so away, so it wasn't home. And then the academics sort of speak for itself. That's why we're all here, right? So I got here, I played defensive end. I think I was a little bit bigger than what I am today. By the time I got to my senior year, I think I was like 265. I don't know what I weigh right now. It was a lot different than it was here. You guys have it a lot better than we did. I don't know if you know that, but we had it like the stadium, like I guess it's where the visitors are, was our locker room. The freshmen were in a locker room with no air conditioning. I don't believe it or not. And so it was a culture shock for me. I don't know what my high school was mostly people that looked like me, right? There's a lot of diversity here, the school, much more. So when I got here, we hung out in DC, you know, it was a little bit different. So when I got here, I did one of the, you know, like, what am I doing here kind of thing. Like, it's cool, but the culture and everything was just very different for me. And my experience was interesting. I started for 3 years at defensive end. I injured my back probably my first year, so I felt like I never really got to get off to where I needed to be, but it was divine. It was what it was supposed to be. Believe it or not, again, by the time I left here, I never wanted to come back. So given the fact that I'm here and I'm as involved as I am, there is hope, there is life, there's a lot of things I had to learn. I enjoyed my time here. I learned how to, believe it or not, again, I'm used to going out when I was younger, partying. I don't know if I'm supposed to say that. Partying in the city and the whole thing. But I learned a lot here to really connect, right? We had like house parties. So we had the house parties. We were like the first. I can't really tell you that much. We were the first ones here that did house parties, right? So we had like we were the Governor Square, I don't know if that still exists. We were Governor Square, we'd have house party, but I learned a lot here how to connect with people, right? I was a relatively shy guy, good with like one-on-one personal relationships, but in a room like this, I probably would pee my pants, right? Even though I played football. But I did learn how to connect at that level. I connected at a personal one-on-one level, and that was new for me, and it took a long time. Let me get back to why I didn't want to come here anymore. The shock was big, right? I saw a lot of things that I didn't know existed as far as racial stuff. I saw things like people were from different areas that I wasn't used to. There was a lot for me that did not look like Louis, Maryland. Let me just say it that way, right? And so for me, I'm like, yeah, when I graduate, I'm never coming back here. I'm going home, I'm going to DC, maybe I'll move to Atlanta, do something like that, and that's it for me. And it probably was like that for maybe 10 years, believe it or not, until, let me back up a little bit. So when I graduated, I originally worked for Accenture. I was a programmer. I realized I didn't like that either. I like to talk to people, I like to relate, I like to connect, right? Programmers, all day, you're on the computer, we're working 12, 16 hours, we're programming. I just knew that's what I wanted to do until I did it. And then I did it, and then I was always talking, and then the management would go, hey man, you're doing a great job and all, but like you're talking too much. And I'm like, well, am I getting my work done? Yeah. Am I one of the best? Yeah, but you're talking too much. So I was like, okay, I gotta do something else. So I took that, computer skills, business skills, talking. I got a job with the government, the National Security Agency. I have a top secret security clearance, which is like one of the 1%ers in the world here. I have a top secret security clearance, which means they look at your background, they hook you up to a lie detector, the whole nine. No, I don't know any of the big national secrets, so don't ask me, but I am cleared to know them. So I got a job at the National Security Agency doing what's called program management. Program management to me was new. I had no idea what it was, but it was an opportunity to get a top secret security clearance, make a lot more money. It looked like a gateway to the future, if that makes sense. But what program management really is, if you already know it, don't give it up. But what program management is really all about is being able to blend all of these skills, if you will. So leadership, management, technology, business, and you get a program, you get a project. Like I'll give you an example. We had a project with $20 million. I was in charge of a program that was $20 million. We were implementing enterprise management systems, which probably for most of you means absolutely nothing. But we were implementing some technology to the whole of the National Security Agency, and I was sitting on the top of it in charge of $20 million, over 100 people, and a lot of technology, just a lot of stuff going on. That was it for me. Like, I felt like, not because I was, running it, but more so, it was like my sweet spot. Does that make sense? Right? I could talk to people, I could do a little technology, I could do some business, I could do a lot of things that was really interesting to me, that William and Mary, I didn't know it at the time, helped me with, right? I could talk to anybody. I feel like I still can talk to anybody, right? I can relate to almost anybody. Again, things that I did not have before I got here. So after I did that, I worked for the government for about 4 or 5 years, then got on with like a startup, helped them grow, did really well there. And then I started my own company, which at the time, I figured, oh man, this is easy, right? I thought it was gonna be, let me just say that. This is gonna be easy. Got my own company, been to all these different companies. I've been to the government, I did really well. I was always really successful in my eyes, of course. But I started the company and it wasn't that easy, right? So where did I end up with my winning? I'm doing 2 parallel stories. That's it. 2 parallel stories. Where did I end up with my William Murray set?
Remember, you didn't want to come back.
I didn't want to come back. Yes, thank you. What's your name? Thank you, Brian. You said Brian? Thank you, Brian. So I didn't want to come back. Thank you. That was perfect, Brian. I'll pay you later. Not really. I won't pay.
NIL.
Yeah, that's it. I won't pay. So I started the business, and I'm like, it's not going the way that I thought that it would go. There's a lot that I need to learn. There's a lot more people that I need to know. WTF. But one of the things that I really wanted to do, and I saw the value in over the years of my experience, was I knew that the guys that I went to school with that were like me could help me. Does that make sense? So that led me down a journey of, hey, why don't we do more where we're bringing in guys in the workforce, because there's a lot of my other alums, et cetera. Why don't we do more to bring in guys that are like us, that I know that could help us, and then we also could help them. Does that make sense? Right? And so I have a passion for helping our guys, or just people that went to William & Mary in general, but I like the athletes better. I have a passion because with you guys and what I went through here enabled me to be able to be very dynamic, do a lot of different things in a lot of different spaces, right? And in the business world, when you're trying to grow a business, that is like paramount. Like you need people that are dynamic. You know, larger businesses need people that are just, you know, you do one thing and they do that one thing really well. We have 10 of those people in like startup world and small business. We need very dynamic people. And so that led me down the pathway of, hey man, maybe I should get more involved. Maybe I should do more, because I would love to hire folks like myself, but I also want to help folks like myself. At that point, I had a family. I had 5 kids. I don't know. Yeah, I know. I see your eyebrows. I know. Well, I'm only like 25, so I had a lot of kids, and my perspective had changed, and I'm like, I really need to do something different, not just because of from a business standpoint, but I was in a different place in life. I wasn't I don't ever want to come back again. I was more, how do I help? How can I help? I have a passion to help. I have been coaching high school basketball. I know everybody says you sucked in basketball and you didn't play. I got an opportunity. I did really well. Won state championships, won AAU championships. I did well. But I guess the picture that I'm painting is I was different. Does that make sense? I got older, I matured, I was different. There was a need that I saw here, school collectively. Coach London was coming in. There's a lot going on in my life. Does that make sense? Hope I'm not leaving anything out. Doesn't mean I'll leave anything out. Any holes so far? Good deal. Okay. So I started my company, didn't go as well as I thought it would go. Started being more involved here. Started growing as a person, or continued to grow as a person, continued to grow as a man. And when you start a business and it doesn't go the way that you wanted to go, I would liken it to when you get here, I was the baddest thing in town, I thought. And then I came here and I had the red shirt as a freshman, and then I had to kind of claw my way all the way through. And I'm like, I thought that I was the best. But it's sort of like an awakening from a college standpoint. It was an awakening from a business standpoint, right? And I had to sort of tackle it the same way. Where I'm going with that is, as I was growing as a man, as I was expanding, as things weren't going the way that I thought that they would go from a business standpoint, I had to change. I hope that makes sense for you guys. So I had to change. Part of my change was getting more involved here. Part of my change was getting more involved in my community. And part of my change was learning more about myself and understanding myself so that I could then be more successful in all of my endeavors. So we stood up Tribe Post Game. Tribe Post Game was all about getting other alums together and telling our stories. I felt like there were so many guys. I know you see the guys on the pictures, and those folks are amazing, and I don't want to say anything to disparage any of those folks, because they're good guys. I know a lot of them. There's a ton of other alums that are doing crazy big things that you have no idea who they are, right? I wanted to tell that story, and we're still doing that right now. And being a part of that was really cool. But also part of telling that story and part of connecting with alums is like Coach talked about before, is the networking piece, right? One of the things that I learned, especially doing business and part of my ascent in the business world, I told you it didn't start the way that I wanted to, but I wouldn't be here if it ended the way that I didn't want it to. I don't know if that makes sense. But one of the things was relationships, right? Connections, relationships. It's really cool that, what's your name right here, brother? Armand? All right, I'm gonna call you out, Armand. It's really cool that Armand starts his own business or does something really cool in the community, right? How much cooler is it if you guys connect with him and then we all collectively do it together? What's your name, bro? Leon. Leon? Why you smiling like that, Leon? And then it's really, I know, I probably don't have any idea, that's why I called him. It's really cool if Leon also has a great thing that Leon is all about, right? And then we can connect with Armand and Leon. What's your name, bro? Quinn. Quinn. And then what if Quinn does some really cool stuff that is very different? What if Quinn is a great teacher and great in the community and we can all connect, right? What if we all come together as alums and what happens then? Because it's not just about, I'm gonna shock you on this one. It's not just about how much money you make. It's about like the impact that you can have on what you do, and then our alumni base, and then in the community, and then in the world, see how that builds? And the way that we do that, and the way that successful people have done that throughout time, is that we connect with each other. Does that make sense? No, it doesn't make sense?
That's me.
Yes, sir.
Oh, yeah, it is.
Okay, just making sure, yeah, Coach is gonna quiz you on that later. Yes, sir. And so, the most important part here is there's a lot of alums, and a lot of you are gonna be alums, and a lot of you are gonna be very successful, and I'm gonna do air quotes, in the things that you do. The most important part is that we connect with each other, and then and if you study very successful people, they're all connected to one another. Make sense? Or they're all, they leverage connections. So a lot of successful people are connected to successful people, and a lot of successful people establish and leverage connections in order to become more successful. Have I lost anybody yet? No, we're good? We're good? What's your name, brother?
Jackson.
Hello, Jackson. What would you define as success?
Having an individual goal and, let's say, completing that goal.
Very good, Jackson. You kind of like stole my fate. So most people think of success. Very good, Jackson. You just messed me all up. Most people think of success, I would say, is what? Money, right? Yeah, you're shaking your head now. Success is money. I would tell you that money. Who thinks of success as a lot of beautiful women? No, you straight say that. I did. So I did. I thought it was money, beautiful women, cars, the whole thing, houses. But I would tell you those are attributes of success. Make sense? So in other words, if you look at success as I set a goal, then I achieve it. There are some people, I've got a buddy, he makes really good money. He went to Gonzaga. Sorry, that's the one. He went to Gonzaga, he makes pretty good money. He's in the teaching world, right? He is wildly successful, but and you might hear his name, but you may never hear his name nationally, right? There's other alums that are very successful that may not make a whole lot of money. We got one guy that is a park ranger in Colorado, and he loves it, and he is a freaking man, and he makes enough money to support his family, but he is, what's the word? Oh, thank you. But how do you have a good definition and then you drop the ball just now? You play defense? Okay, all right, whatever. And so, given the fact that success is different for all of us, right? We're all successful in our, well, not all of us. I'll get to that in a minute. Let's just say we are. We're all successful in our own right as we become alums and we mature in our life. And once again, the power of connection, if I'm successful and you're successful and we're all successful, the power of success, when we bring it all together, does it go down, stay the same, or go up? What do you think? It goes up. If you study, and I think that you should, if you do study successful people, they leverage, I think I said this earlier, they leverage connections. I talked a minute ago, Ryan? Oh, thank God. I'm terrible at names. I talked a minute ago about learning about myself. I'm bringing this all together. I talked a minute ago about learning about myself. One of the things I did not know and I had to discover about myself is who I am as a person, right? I'm a people developer. I figured that out. I used to coach. I would never do what coach does because he's on a whole different level, right? I'm more of a business guy. But I'm a people developer. I feel like I do it better than most. In that, I discovered I had a goal that I wanted to reach. I wanted to impact as many people as I possibly could. In doing that, I realized that where I sat, I wasn't able to do that. So I had to do some work on myself. I'm really big when I coach folks. I coach entrepreneurs, I coach business people, I coach junior folks. And when I coach, I don't mean sports coach, I'm more like life. But when I coach people, I'm really big on what's I would call the whole man, right? What position you play, bro? Running back? Okay. Do you know what defensive ends do? Exactly. So I'm sorry to jack you up, but most people do that. You messed me up because you were supposed to get it wrong. The whole man is, most of us want to make a whole lot of money, women, houses, cars, or we set goals and we achieve them and we do the right thing. But do you start like that? No, you don't start like that? Why not? You just said no. My point was, but the question was, you want things, but do you start at the place where you want to go? You do. Okay. Do you start at the place where you want to go? You don't. Okay. Imagine it work right out. Okay, so I talked to folks about building the whole man, and the whole man is, I'll give it to you really quickly because I might be running on time. The whole man is spiritually, right? If you have a relationship, I have a relationship with God, with Jesus Christ. But if you have a different religion, right, there's a spiritual thing, there's a physical, right? You guys get the physical in now because you don't really have a choice. But what happens 10 years after you graduate? Okay, we'll talk about that later. So there's a spiritual, there's a physical, there's a mental piece. You go to school now because you have to. What happens when you don't have to? There's a service element to all of us, right? There's a lot going on. There's a lot of talents that you have. You would not be here today if you did not have talent. What are you doing to give back to other people? There's that piece, right? And then there's the relationship piece that we talked about. All of that builds the whole man. So that, like, let's just say, sorry, what's your name? Garrett. If Garrett was, what position do you play, Garrett? Receiver. Okay, good. If Garrett just worked all day, every day on running, he might be pretty good at running, right? But anytime you ask him to do anything else, how would he do? Oh, you have an answer? If he just worked only on running, nothing else, he didn't lift a weight, he didn't set his plate. I know I'm sorry, bro. He did nothing else, right? If he was asked to do anything else, how good would he be? He would probably suck at it, right? Think of you as a man. Think of you as you leave here, even today. If you just did one thing, if you only focus on one thing, you just lifted all day. Yeah, I just lifted all day, right? And then somebody said, hey, here's a new job for you. Here's something I want you to do. How good would you be at it? Right? If you lifted all day and you met a really stressful time in your life, right? Something catastrophic happened. How good would you be? How would that work out for you? You don't know. You probably never been there. You will, don't worry. And where I'm going is when we develop the whole man, all of us, all of those things, and we do it daily, whole man, daily, we take little steps, one in front of the other, and we become
Successful.
Thank you, sir. And then once we become successful, and we've been building those relationships, because that's part of the whole man, we're connected to other successful. Oh man, you're awesome. You want to trade? Want to get out? Okay, you do it. Then we become collectively successful, right? And then we help our communities, right? We help out brothers that may graduate with us or may be in the community that may not be doing as well, right? Because we're connected. Where did I leave off with the business stuff? You remember? Brian? You're an offensive lineman, aren't you? Hey, you're supposed to know all this stuff. That's why I called on you. Y'all supposed to like know stuff. Don't worry about it. I'll take you off to the Mr. Quarterback. Where did I leave off? Do you remember? Very good. No, that wasn't right. Very good. So business-wise, one of the things, understanding myself, understanding the whole man, understanding what I needed to grow the business, I invested in relationships, I invested in growing myself, but I was at a point where I started where I was like, now I sort of understand where I need to go, what I need to do. I'm working to build myself as a whole man. 2-3 years ago, I was 280 pounds. I don't know how much I weigh now, but I'm not so where I'm going with this is working on the whole man. I was working on physical. I was working on spiritual. I was growing spiritually. I was working on here. I'm reading books daily, right? Things that I would do occasionally, but not consistently. I was creating relationships. I was doing try post game. I was doing all those things. What are some of the other parts? I was definitely involved in my community and getting more involved in the William & Mary community from a service standpoint. What that did over time was I met new people, gave me new opportunities, gave me new perspective. And as I'm meeting new people, what am I doing as a person? I'm growing as a person. So now when you meet me 3 years ago, 4 years ago, and I'm 280 pounds and I don't know anything, now today, I may know a little bit more. I may know more people. I may be more impactful. Do you see how that builds and compounds on itself? I hope so. If you don't, we can talk later. And so that in of itself, investing in the whole man, investing on just those little steps day by day, investing in community, investing in service, over time, and I'm not even the most successful dude. I'm probably one of the least successful, right? Judging by the money success part, right? But over time, one relationship led to another. One interview led to another. One dinner led to another. I'm on a board. Make sense? One relationship led to another. One this, one that. More growth. Wasn't where I wanted to be. Did more stuff. Connected with Coach London. Did more stuff. I'm standing right here. I'm not on the wall, fellas. Right? Think about what I'm saying. I'm standing here, but I ain't on the wall. Why am I standing here? We'll talk about that later. The math. I hope you see where I'm going with all of this stuff. So in this, you can apply whether you play pro football, or you go into the business world, or you're a teacher, you're a psychologist, whatever it may be. Success is defined as, you setting these goals and you working toward them. And then once you reach it, you set another one and you can continue to go. You guys are college athletes. That's not hard for you to do, right? One day you said, hey, I want to play college football, and you did it. Well, life is going to continue to be like that. Hey, I want to go and I want to run this. I want to be a part of that. I want to travel here because there's some sort of mission or whatever, right? And so you're going to set these goals, but as long as you're sort of developing the whole man, and you're stepping one step at a time, and you're doing it daily. What's your name, brother?
Michael.
Your name, Michael?
Yes, sir.
Oh, thank you, Michael. What's your name, brother? Devin. I got a son named Devin. One of my 5 children. So Michael, Devin, as you're setting those goals, as you're stepping through one by one, as you're stretching your goals, you're stretching as the thing that you want to do, and you're walking step by step, you will be successful. It may not look like the women, cars, houses, but it might. No. But then you'll get old enough, you get mature enough, and you'll be like, dude, that doesn't really even matter. that led me to today. I am here with you. The business is doing well. Jonathan Hammond on the team with you guys last year. He works for us. I got another alum that works for us, worked with us. So I do what I said I'm gonna do. I love alums. I love college athletes because you guys are so dynamic. I'm giving back. I'm investing in relationships. I'm trying to do everything that I'm saying that I've been here telling you guys to do. Or just talking to you guys about what I need. How about that? All right, Coach, did I go too long?
We're good.
Questions? Anything?
Donte, can you let everybody know how they can tune in to Tribe postgame?
Yeah, so we have a YouTube site. Tried post game. Haven't done any. Last year was a tough year for me, so we didn't do any last year. We did 3 years of content, so you can look at a bunch of alums and see what we've been doing, learn about where different guys are, learn about different measures of success in different worlds. We got some guys that were on TV. We've got other guys that are. I'm trying to think of some really cool stuff that guys do. Education. We've got some guys that are in the business world, of course. We've got guys that played a long time ago, all the way up to Marcus, who just graduated last year. Check it out, it's really cool. You'll learn a lot. Hopefully you get the chance to get some of you guys on and give you an opportunity to tell your story.
If you're good, if anyone reaches out to me, they can get your contact info.
Yeah, I'm on LinkedIn, so hit me up on, connect with me on LinkedIn if you aren't already. And yeah, if you want to, more directly connect, talk to Bill.
Hey, we also wanted everyone to know that we just put into effect the new Tribe alumni football website. And since you guys are part of that group, we'll get the information, the website for you guys to be able to sign up on it. It's brand new, so the content's not everything we want it to be. We're trying to work on that in our spare time, but I think it'll be real beneficial for everyone to sign up for that and become a part of that. And we welcome your ideas and creativity in that regard. So we'll get the information to you so you guys can sign up for it. And it has a link to Dante's Tribe postgame interviews as well.
Take a picture with you, Tom.